What is your path to Dharma?
Welcome, friends. This is Path to Dharma. I'm Shannon and I'm here with Shay. And as we have been, we are here reading the Srimad Bhagavatam. Welcome, welcome. We're so happy and grateful to have you with us. How are you today, Shay?
I'm doing well. And Spruce is here with us too. He's out of frame, but he's listening as well.
Right, right. We've already decided Spruce is coming back as a human next time just because he's been here listening to the Srimad Bhagavatam with
This
you.
whole time, yeah.
And
Yeah.
also, I mean, if you don't know, Shay's expecting, so her baby is also hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam as we go through this. And sometimes I think about like how exciting and cool that is.
Right?
And it
Who is this
reminds,
being coming through?
right, it reminds me of like the different sages that talked about, I mean, specifically Narada and Dhruva, maybe not Dhruva, but Narada specifically. His mother was there in an ashram, and
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
womb he was hearing the Vedas. Anyway, beautiful sentiment. Thank you so much for being here, Shay and Baby and Spruce. Okay, so we are starting chapter 4 of the sixth canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. This chapter 4, we just finished it, just finished reading about Ajamila, who was saved by calling out the name of Narayan at the moment of death.
Hmm.
And chapter 4 is titled The Hamsa-guhya Prayers Offered to the Lord by Prajāpati Dakṣa. So I'm really excited to see what's in this. And
Yeah.
before we begin, let's do some obeisances.
Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is our very means of conquest, one must first offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead Narayan, unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author, by regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering service to the pure devotee. All that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed, and loving service unto the personality of Godhead, whose praise with transcendental songs is established as an irrevocable fact.
Fact. Hare Hare.
Right. Srimad Bhagavatam, 6th Canto, Chapter 4.
Chapter 4. Would you like to start us out with text 1 and 2?
1. The blessed king said to Sukadeva Goswami, My dear Lord, the demigods, demons, human beings, nagas, beasts, and birds were created during the reign of Svayambhuva Manu. You have spoken about this creation briefly in the 3rd canto. Now I wish to know about it elaborately. I also wish to know about the potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead by which he brought about the secondary creation.
I love this question. Sutta Goswami said, O great sages, after the great yogi Sukadeva Goswami heard King Parikshit's inquiry, he praised it and thus replied.
Sukadeva Goswami said, When the 10 sons of Prachinabhari emerged from the waters in which they were performing austerities, they saw that the entire surface of the world was covered by trees.
Because of having undergone long austerities in the water, the Prachetas were very angry at the trees. Desiring to burn them to ashes, they generated wind and fire from their mouths.
My dear King Pariksit, when Soma, the king of the trees and the predominating deity of the moon, saw the fire and when burning all the trees to ashes, he felt great sympathy because he is the maintainer of all herbs and trees. To appease the anger of the Prachetas, Soma spoke as follows.
O greatly fortunate ones, you should not kill these poor trees by burning them to ashes. Your duty is to wish the citizens all prosperity and to act as their protectors.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Hari, is the master of all living entities, including all the Prajapatis, such as Lord Brahma. Because he is the all-pervading and indestructible master, he has created all these trees and vegetables as eatables for other living entities.
By nature's arrangements, fruit and flowers are considered the food of insects and birds. Grass and other legless living entities are meant to be the food of four-legged animals like cows and buffalo. Animals that cannot use their front legs as hands are meant to be the food of animals like tigers, which have claws. And four-legged animals like deer and goats, as well as food grains, are meant to be the food of human beings.
Okay, interesting.
That's interesting.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, it is.
O pure-hearted ones, your father, Prachinabhari, and the Supreme Personality of Godhead have ordered you to generate population. Therefore, how can you burn to ashes these trees and herbs, which are needed for the maintenance of your subjects and descendants?
The path of goodness traversed by your father, grandfather, and great grandfathers is that of maintaining the subjects, including the men, animals, and trees. That is the path you should follow. Unnecessary anger is contrary to your duty. Therefore, I request you to control your anger.
As the father and mother are the friends and maintainers of their children, as the eyelid is the protector of the eye, as the husband is the maintainer and protector of a woman, as the householder is the maintainer and protector of beggars, and as the learned is the friend of the ignorant, so the king is the protector and giver of life to all his subjects. The trees are also subjects to the king, therefore they should be given protection.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead is situated as the Supersoul within the cores of the hearts of all living entities, whether moving or non moving, including men, birds, animals, trees, and indeed all living entities. Therefore, you should consider every body a residence or temple of the Lord. By such vision, you will satisfy the Lord. You should not angrily kill these living entities in the forms of trees. This is like such an interesting chapter we're reading right now because um, I have this birdhouse that I want to hang up, and I've been considering whether or not to put this like screw or nail into the tree. And I've been asking myself if I can find somewhere else to put it because is that going to harm the tree? And I've been just kind of going back in my head about is that crazy? Am I crazy? That's kind of weird, right? Thank you, universe. I guess I'm going to find somewhere else to put it that isn't the tree.
They're subjects to
Right.
one who inquires into self-realization and thus subdues his powerful anger, which awakens suddenly in the body as if falling from the sky, transcends the influence of the modes of material nature.
There is no need to burn these poor trees any longer. Let whatever trees still remain be happy. Indeed, you should also be happy. Now, here is a beautiful, well qualified girl named Marisha, who was raised by the trees as their daughter. You may accept this beautiful girl as your wife.
Sukadeva Goswami continued, My dear king, after thus pacifying the Prachetas, Soma, the king of the moon, gave them the beautiful girl born of Pramloka Apsara. The Prachetas all received Pramloka's daughter, who had high, very beautiful hips, and married her according to the religious system.
In the womb of that girl, the Prashetas all begot a son named Daksha, who filled the three worlds with living entities.
Sukadeva Goswami continued.
Okay, wait a second. Wait a second. I just want
Okay.
to like hold up for a second here because Daksha showed up way earlier and he was actually killed by Shiva. Remember the whole incident? So is this Daksha being reborn? And then I just glanced to the purport and it says Daksha was first born during the reign of Yambuva Manu, but because of offending Lord Shiva, he was punished by having the head of a goat substituted for his own head. Thus
Right.
insulted, he had to give up that body. And in the sixth Manvantara, called the Kas Kaksusa Mantavara, he was born of the womb of Marisha as Daksha. In this connection, Srila Visvanta. Oh, okay. I got it. Okay, so that's what it's saying, that he is now being born again. Okay, so
Right.
yes, that is the same Daksha.
Daksha's being reborn.
Yes.
Sukadeva Goswami continued, Please hear from me with great attention how Prajāpati Dakṣa, who was very affectionate to his daughters, created different types of living entities through his semen and through his mind.
I'm just like taking that in for a second. I'm still like kind of like processing this. Sorry. Okay. All
Take your time.
right. With his mind, Prajapati Daksha first created all kinds of demigods, demons, human beings, birds, beasts, aquatics, and so on.
Okay, wait, yes. So the Pranchettas are given this girl who was born of the trees, Marisha.
Right, right. And sh
Then they begot a son with her who is Daksha.
and it says that's what I was trying to like process here because it does says that all of them begot a son named Daksha. So what does that even mean? So that's what's like slightly. I'm just like trying to process all of this. Okay, okay, okay.
That's all of their son.
Yes, that's all of their son. I
And
think
it's
we are
Daksha. Okay.
okay. All right, I'm tracking slightly. All right, where are we now?
Are we text 22?
Text 20. Text 20. But when Prajapati Daksha saw that he was not properly generating all kinds of living entities, he approached a mountain near the Vindhya mountain range, and there he executed very difficult austerities.
Near the mountain was a very holy place named Agham Marasana. There, Prajapati Daksha executed ritualistic ceremonies and satisfied the Supreme Personality of Godhead Hari by engaging in great austerities to please him.
My dear king, I shall fully explain to you the Hamsa-guhya prayers, which were offered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead by Daksha, and I shall explain how the Lord was pleased with him for those prayers.
Prajapati Daksha said, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is transcendental to the illusory energy and the physical categories it produces. He possesses the potency for unfailing knowledge and supreme willpower, and he is the controller of the living entities and the illusory energy. The conditioned souls who have accepted his material manifestation as everything cannot see him, for he is above the evidence of experimental knowledge. Self-evident and self-sufficient, he is not caused by any superior cause. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto him.
As the sense objects, form, taste, touch, smell, and sound, cannot understand how the senses perceive them, so the conditioned soul, although residing in his body along with the supersoul, cannot understand how the supreme spiritual person, the master of the material creation, directs his senses. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto that supreme person who is the supreme controller.
Because they are only matter, the body, the life air, the external and internal senses, the five gross elements, and the subtle sense objects, form, taste, smell, sound, and touch, cannot know their own nature, the nature of the other senses, or the nature of their controllers. Okay, they can't know any of those things.
Right.
But the living being, because of his spiritual nature, can know his body, the life airs, the senses, the elements, and the sense objects. And he can also know the three qualities that form their roots. Nevertheless, although the living being is completely aware of them, he is unable to see the supreme being, who is omniscient and unlimited. I therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto him.
Wow, okay. When one's consciousness is completely purified of the contamination of material existence, gross and subtle, without being agitated as in the working and dreaming states, and when the mind is not dissolved as in susupti, deep sleep, when one comes to the platform of trance, then one's material vision and the memories of the mind, which manifest names and forms, are vanquished. Only in such a trance is the Supreme Personality of Godhead revealed. Thus, let us offer our respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is seen in that uncontaminated, transcendental state.
Just
Okay.
as great learned Brahmins, who are expert in performing ritualistic ceremonies and sacrifices, can extract the fire dormant within wood and fuel by chanting the 15 Samidani mantras, thus proving the efficacy of Vedic mantras, so those who are actually advanced in consciousness, in other words, those who are Krishna conscious, can find the supersoul, who by his own spiritual potency is situated within the heart. The heart is covered by the three modes of material nature and the nine material elements. Material nature, the total material energy, the ego, the mind, and the five objects of sense gratification, and also by the five material elements and the 10 senses. These 27 elements constitute the external energy of the Lord. Great yogis meditate upon the Lord, who is situated as the supersoul, Paramatma, within the core of the heart. May that supersoul be pleased with me. The supersoul is realized when one is eager for liberation from the unlimited varieties of material life. One actually attains such liberation when he engages in the transcendental loving service of the Lord and realizes the Lord because of his attitude of service. The Lord may be addressed by various spiritual names, which are inconceivable to the material senses. When will that Supreme Personality of Godhead be pleased with me?
Wow. Okay.
Her mind covered 27 things.
Yeah. That's a lot. Okay. Anything expressed by material vibrations, anything ascertained by material intelligence, and anything experienced by the material senses or concocted within the material mind is but an effect of the modes of material nature, and therefore has nothing to do with the real nature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Supreme Lord is beyond the creation of this material world, for he is the source of the material qualities in creation. As the cause of all causes, he exists before the creation and after the creation. I wish to offer my respectful obeisances unto him.
I almost want you to read the very first sentence again.
Okay. Anything expressed by material vibrations, anything ascertained by material intelligence, and anything experienced by the material senses or concocted with the material within the material mind is but an effect of the modes of material nature and therefore has nothing to do with the real nature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay, so it's crazy because we were just talking about crazy events happening on Earth right now. And just yesterday we were like, "Oh my gosh, okay, this is a baby deer right now. Like this
Right,
is an illusion." Like, okay, this what we're seeing, this external kind of like chaos and all this stuff happening. Yes, it's real in the sense that we're experiencing it, but this has nothing to do with the real nature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We just found out.
right.
I mean, we've kind of known, but like, yeah. It's an illusion. It's the illusion
Yeah.
that's being created. Okay.
Oh, and it's just so easy to get caught up in it. So thank goodness we have Srimad Bhagavatam to remind us.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because it's very convincing down here. I get very invested in my human character. Very invested.
Yep.
So you do forget. It's like, oh, wait. Okay. There's something beyond this. He's the source of everything and he's the cause of all causes and he exists beyond this. So, like, this is just a blip. This is just a
Exactly.
blip. And I was even thinking of, there's like crazy astrology going on and Um, there's a cycle I'm finishing that actually began in 1986, which is wild to think of. Really wild
Wow.
to think of, but which seems like a long time ago. But at the same time, it's like a blink. It's a blink. It's nothing. It's literally nothing as far as like eternal time goes. So sometimes it's the perspective that reading something like this gives you when you're like, whoa, okay, wait, I'm taking this thing way too seriously.
Right. All right, text 30. The Supreme Brahman, Krishna, is the ultimate resting place and source of everything. Everything is done by him, everything belongs to him, and everything is offered to him. He is the ultimate objective, and whether acting or causing others to act, he is the ultimate doer. There are many causes, high and low, but since he is the cause of all causes, he is well known as the Supreme Brahman who existed before all activities. He is one without a second and has no other cause. I therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto him.
Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto the all-pervading Supreme Personality of Godhead, who possesses unlimited transcendental qualities. Acting from within the cores of the hearts of all philosophers who propagate various views, he causes them to forget their own souls, while sometimes agreeing and sometimes disagreeing among themselves. Thus, he creates within this material world a situation in which they are unable to come to a conclusion. I offer my obeisances unto him. That's about accurate.
Yeah. Yeah. There are two parties, namely the theists and the atheists. The theists who accept the supersoul find the spiritual cause through mystic yoga. The Sankite,
Some-
however, who merely analyzes the material elements, comes to a conclusion of impersonalism and does not accept a supreme cause, whether Bhagavan, Paramatma, or even Brahman. Instead, he is preoccupied with the superfluous, right? Did I say that right?
yeah.
Superfluous.
Hmm.
External activities of material nature. Ultimately, however, both parties demonstrate the absolute truth because they offer opposing statements. Their object is the same ultimate cause. They are both approaching the same supreme Brahman, to whom I offer my respectful obeisances.
Mm.
We've heard that again and again. It's like
Yeah.
it all leads to the same path.
Yeah. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is inconceivably opulent, who is devoid of all material names, forms, and pastimes, and who is all pervading, is especially merciful to the devotees who worship his lotus feet. Thus, he exhibits transcendental forms and names with his different pastimes. May that Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose form is eternal and full of knowledge and bliss, be merciful unto me. I love that because it's like he's exhibiting a form and a name for us,
Yeah,
basically, for us, for the devotees.
because
Right.
he's genuinely nameless and formless.
Right. And so the fact that we actually see him as a human body, head, two arms, two legs, right? That's for our benefit because actually we've also seen him as a turtle,
Right. As a
as
bull,
a right, as a lion-headed, right, exactly. So it's like there's different. So this one, like Krishna, for example,
it's easy for us to.
easy for us, right, to identify with, right.
As the air carries various characteristics of the physical elements, like the aroma of a flower or colors resulting from a mixture of dust in the air, the Lord appears through lower systems of worship according to one's desires, although he appears as the demigods and not in his original form. What is the use of these forms? May the original Supreme Personality God of Godhead please fulfill my desires. That's a good question.
That's a great question. Okay, here's a long answer. Sri Sukadeva Goswami said, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, who is extremely affectionate to his devotees, was very pleased by the prayers offered by Daksha, and thus he appeared at that holy place known as Agam Harsana. O Maharaja Parikshit, best of the Kuru dynasty, the Lord's lotus feet rested on the shoulders of his carrier, Garuda, and he appeared with 8 long, mighty, very beautiful arms. In his hands he held a disc, conch shell, sword, shield, arrow, bow, rope, and club, and in each hand a different weapon, all brilliantly shining. His garments were yellow, and his bodily hue deep bluish. His eyes and face were very cheerful, and from his neck to his feet hung a long garland of flowers. His chest was decorated with a Kastuba jewel and a mark of Srivatsa. On his head was a gorgeous round helmet, and his ears were decorated with earrings resembling sharks. All these ornaments were uncommonly beautiful. The Lord wore a golden belt on his waist, bracelets on his arms, rings on his fingers, and ankle bells at his feet. Thus decorated by various ornaments, Lord Hari, who is attractive to all living entities of the 3 worlds, is known as Purusattama, the best personality. He was accompanied by great devotees like Narada, Nanda, and all the principal demigods, led by the heavenly king Indra and the residents of various upper planetary systems, such as Siddhaloka, Gandharvaloka, and Taranaloka. Situated on both sides of the Lord and behind him as well, these devotees offered him prayers continuously. Okay, yes, I love it when he shows up.
They have arrived.
Yes.
Seeing that wonderful and effulgent form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Prajapati Daksha was first somewhat afraid, but then he was very pleased to see the Lord, and he fell to the ground like a stick to offer his respects to the Lord.
I was just thinking about that the other day about the whole idea of like falling to the ground, just like face down, and how absolutely wild it would be to be praying and then to have a being appear before you. And what else would you possibly do
That's
in that
probably
moment, right? It's like Dhruva did the same thing. He just fell to the ground.
yeah.
Yes. Okay. As rivers are filled by water flowing from a mountain, all of Daksha's senses were filled with pleasure. Because of his highly elevated happiness, Daksha could not say anything, but simply remained flat on the ground. Right.
And what do you say?
Right. What do you say? Nothing.
Although Prajapati Daksha could not say anything, when the Lord, who knows everyone's heart, saw his devotee prostrate in that manner, and desiring to increase the population, he addressed him as follows.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O most fortunate Prachetasa, because of your great faith in me, you have attained the supreme devotional ecstasy. Indeed, because of your austerities combined with exalted devotion, your life is now successful. You have achieved complete perfection.
Well,
Wow. Wow, Daksha. Let's go.
my dear Prajapati Daksha, you have performed extreme austerities for the welfare and growth of the world. My desire also is that everyone within this world be happy. I am therefore very pleased with you because you are endeavoring to fulfill my desire for the welfare of the entire world.
Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, the Manus, and all the other demigods in the higher planetary systems, and you Prajapatis who are increasing the population, are working for the benefit of all living entities. Thus, your expansions of my marginal energy are incarnations of my various qualities.
Okay.
Okay.
My dear Brahman, austerity in the form of meditation is my heart. Vedic knowledge is the form of hymns and mantras constitute my body, and spiritual activities and ecstatic emotions are my actual form. The ritualistic ceremonies and sacrifices, when properly conducted, are the various limbs of my body. The unseen good fortune proceeding from pious or spiritual activities constitute my mind. And the demigods who execute my orders in various departments are my life and soul.
Before
That's who the demigods are.
Before the creation of this cosmic manifestation, I alone existed with my specific spiritual potencies. Consciousness was then unmanifested, just as one's consciousness is unmanifested during the time of sleep. Right, we've seen that painting of Vishnu sleeping in the cosmic ocean.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Just not last night, but the day before, I woke up thinking about the Yamadutas and the Vishnadutas, and I was like, are there Krishna Dutas as well? Or is that Vishnadutas?
That's
That's
a
literally, I woke up saying Krishna Dutas.
so someone answer that if you know that. I would love to know that.
All right, text 48. I am the reservoir of unlimited potency, and therefore I am known as unlimited or all-pervading. From my material energy, the cosmic manifestation appears within me, and in this universal manifestation appeared the chief being, Lord Brahma, who is your source and is not born of a material mother.
When the chief lord of the universe, Lord Brahma, having been inspired by my energy, was attempting to create, he thought himself incapable. Therefore, I gave him advice, and in accordance with my instructions, he underwent extreme difficult austerities. Because of these austerities, the great Lord Brahma was able to create 9 personalities, including you, to help him in the functions of creation.
O my dear son Daksha, Panchajana has a daughter named Asikini, Es- Eskini, whom I offer to you so that you may accept her as your wife, whom I offer to you so that you may accept her as your wife.
Now unite in sexual life as a man and woman, and in this way, by sexual intercourse, you will be able to beget hundreds of children in the womb of this girl to increase the population.
After you,
How about having hundreds of babies, Shay?
let me get through one, then if the Supreme Personality of Godhead so desires, after you give birth to many hundreds and thousands of children, they will also be captivated by my illusory energy and will engage, like you, in sexual intercourse. But because of my mercy to you and them, you will also be able to give me presentations in devotion.
They will also be able to give me.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Sukadeva Goswami continued, after the creator of the entire universe, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, had spoken in this way, in the presence of Prajāpati Dakṣa, he immediately disappeared as if he were an object experienced in a dream.
Wow.
Ay, and then he just blinks away. Oh my goodness.
Well, I mean, we should do chapter 5 because I'm just intrigued.
I mean, just looking at the title, we have to do it. Read the title of chapter 5.
Narada Muni cursed by Prajapati Daksha.
Yeah, let's see. We have to know. What is that about? We must know what that's about. Okay, let's keep going. Srila Sukadeva Goswami continued. Impelled by the illusory energy of Lord Vishnu, Prajapati Daksha begot 10,000 sons in the womb of Panchajani Asikini. My dear king, these sons were called the Haryasvas.
My dear king, all the sons of Prajapati Daksha were alike in being very gentle and obedient to the orders of their father. When their father ordered them to beget children, they all went in the western direction.
In the west, where the river Sindhu meets the sea, there is a great place of pilgrimage known as Narayana Saras. Many sages and other advanced in spiritual consciousness live there.
In that holy place, the Haryas, how are we saying this?
Haryasvas?
Haryas
Haryasvas?
began regularly touching the lake's waters and bathing in them. Gradually becoming very much purified, they became inclined toward the activities of the Paramhamsas. Nevertheless, because their father had ordered them to increase the population, they performed severe austerities to fulfill his desires. One day, when the great sage Narada saw those boys performing such fine austerities to increase the population, Narada approached them.
The great sage Narada said, my dear Haryasvas, you have not seen the extremities of the earth. There is a kingdom where only one man lives and where there is a hole from which, having entered, no one emerges. A woman there who is extremely unchaste adorns herself with various attractive dresses, and the man who lives there is her husband. In that kingdom, there is a river flowing in both directions, a wonderful home made of 25 materials, a swan that vibrates various sounds, and an automatically revolving object made of sharp razors and thunderbolts. You have not seen all this, and therefore you are inexperienced boys without advanced knowledge. How then will you create progeny? Narada's like stirring it up. And Narada's being like, who are you guys? Like, what
Yeah,
have you done? You haven't even seen anything. You've seen
right.
nothing.
Alas, your father is omniscient, but you do not know his actual order. Without knowing the actual purpose of your father, how will you create progeny?
Right. Omniscient. Omniscient.
Omniscient. Omniscient.
Sri Sukadeva Goswami said, hearing these enigmatic words of Narada Muni, the Haryasvas considered them with their natural intelligence without help from others. They're about to fall for something, I feel like.
I think so too. The Haryas, how are we saying this? Haryasvas. Understanding the meaning of Narada's words as follows. The word Bu, the earth, refers to the field of activities. The material body, which is the result of the living being's action, is his field of activities, and it gives him false designations. Since time immemorial, he has received various types of material bodies, which are the roots of bondage to the material world. If one foolishly engages in temporary fruitive activities and does not look toward the sensation of this bondage, what will be the benefit of his actions?
Narada Muni had said that there is a kingdom where there is only one male. The Haryasvas realized the purport of this statement. The only enjoyer is the Supreme Personality of Godhead who observes everything, everywhere. He is full of six opulences and fully independent of everyone else. He is never subject to the three modes of material nature, for he is always transcendental to this material creation. If the members of human society do not understand him, the Supreme, through their advancement in knowledge and activities, but simply work very hard like cats and dogs all day and night for temporary happiness, what will be the benefit of their activities? Hmm?
What? Narada Muni had described that there is a bila or hole from which, having entered, one does not return. The Haryasvas understood the meaning of this allegory. Hardly once has a person who has entered the lower planetary system called Patala been seen to return. Similarly, if one enters Vaikuntha Dhamma, he does not return to this material world. If there is such a place from which, having gone, one does not return to this miserable material condition of life, what is the use of jumping like monkeys in the temporary material world and not seeing or understanding that place? What will be the profit?
It's a good question. Narada Muni had described a woman who is a professional prostitute. The Haryasvas understood the identity of this woman. Mixed with the mode of passion, the unsteady intelligence of every living entity is like a prostitute who changes dresses just to attract one's attention. If one fully engages in temporary fruitive activities, not understanding how this is taking place, what does he actually gain?
Narada Muni had also spoken of a man who was the husband of the prostitute. The Haryasvas understood this as follows. If one becomes the husband of a prostitute, he loses all independence. Similarly, if a living entity has polluted intelligence, he prolongs his materialistic life. Frustrated by material nature, he must follow the movements of the intelligence, which bring various conditions of happiness and distress. If one performs fruitive activities under such conditions, what will be the benefit?
Narada Muni had said that there is a river flowing in both directions. The Haryasvas understood the purport of this statement. Material nature functions in two ways, by creation and dissolution. Thus, the river of material nature flows both ways. A living entity who unknowingly falls in the river is submerged in its waves, and since the current is swifter near the banks of the river, he is unable to get out. What will be the benefit of performing fruitive activities in that river of Maya? These are great questions. Maybe, I don't know, maybe Narada isn't like tricking them. Let's keep
We
going.
shall see.
Let's see.
Narada Muni had said that there is a house made of 25 elements. The Haryasvas understood this analogy. The Supreme Lord is the reservoir of the 25 elements, and as a Supreme Being, the conductor of cause and effect, he causes their manifestation. If one engages in temporary fruitive activities, not knowing that Supreme Person, what benefits will he derive?
Narada Muni had spoken of a swan. That swan is explained in this verse. The Vedic literatures vividly describe how to understand the Supreme Lord, the source of all material and spiritual energy. Indeed, they elaborately explain these two energies. The swan, Hamsa, is one who discriminates between matter and spirit, who accepts the essence of everything, and who explains the means of bondage and the means of liberation. The words of scriptures consist of variegated vibrations. If a foolish rascal leaves aside the study of these shastras to engage in temporary activities, what will be the result? I don't know why I had such a hard time reading that. It was like I kept stuttering in that whole thing.
Well, the words are so deep.
Yeah, I think that's it. It's almost like I'm trying to read it and understand it as I'm going, and my mind is like pausing to kind of like catch up. What does this mean?
Okay.
Right?
Narada Muni had spoken of a physical object made of sharp blades and thunderbolts. The Haryasvas understood this allegory as follows. Eternal time moves very sharply, as if made of razors and thunderbolts. Uninterrupted and fully independent, it drives the activities of the entire world. If one does not try to study the eternal element of time, What benefit can he derive from performing temporary material activities?
Narada Muni had asked how one could ignorantly defy one's own father. The Haryasvas understood the meaning of this question. One must accept the original instructions of the Shastra. According to Vedic civilization, one is offered a sacred thread as a sign of second birth, a sacred thread as a sign of second birth. One takes his second birth by dint of having received instructions in the Shastra from a bona fide spiritual master. Therefore, Shastra scripture is the real father. All the Shastras instruct that one should end his material way of life if one does not know the purpose of the father's orders, the Shastras, he is ignorant. The words of a material father who endeavors to engage his son in material activities are not the real instructions of the father.
Hmm.
Okay, all right.
Sukadeva Goswami continued, My dear king, after hearing the instructions of Narada, the Haryasvas, the sons of Prajāpati Dakṣa, were firmly convinced. They all believed in his instructions and reached the same conclusion. Having accepted him as their spiritual master, they circumambulated that great sage and followed the path by which one never returns to this world.
I mean, Narada seems to do that to people. He shows up and says things, and then next thing you know, they're on some whole different path.
Right.
The seven musical notes are used in musical instruments, but originally they come from the Samaveda. The great sage Narada vibrates sounds describing the pastimes of the Supreme Lord. By such transcendental vibrations, such as Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, he fixes his mind on the lotus feet of the Lord. I really wanted to sing that. It was hard to just read. Thus, he directly perceives Hirsikesha, the master of the senses. After delivering the Haryasvas, Narada Muni continued traveling throughout the planetary systems, his mind always fixed at the lotus feet of the Lord. Wow.
The Haryasvas, the sons of Prajapati Daksha, were very well behaved, cultured sons, but unfortunately, because of the instructions of Narada Muni, they deviated from the order of their father. When Daksha heard this news, which was brought to him by Narada Muni, he began to lament. Although he was the father of such good sons, he had lost them all. Certainly, this was lamentable.
I mean, didn't Narada do this like to someone else where he showed up and they had 100 sons and he like came down and was said to
And it does
them,
it does sound
the
familiar.
purpose of life is to be enlightened, and then they, instead of populating the earth, they went and got enlightened? Or
I
is
think
this just the same story from a different?
perspective or something. I don't know.
Okay. When Prajapati Daksha was lamenting for his lost children, Lord Brahma pacified him with instructions, and therefore Daksha begot 1,000 more children in the womb of his wife, Panchajani. This time, his sons were known as Savalasvas.
In accordance with their father's orders to beget children, the second group of sons also went to Narayan Saras, the same place where their brothers had previously attained perfection by following the instructions of Narada. Undertaking great vows of austerity, the Savalasvas remained at that holy place.
At Narayana Saras, the second group of sons performed penances in the same way as the first. They bathed in the holy water, and by its touch, all the dirty material desires in their hearts were cleansed away. They murmured mantras beginning with Omkara and underwent a severe course of austerities.
For a few months, the sons of Prajapati Daksha drank only water and ate only air. Thus, undergoing great austerities, they recited this mantra. Let us offer our respectful obeisances unto Narayana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is always situated in his transcendental abode, since he is a Supreme Person, Parahamsa. Let us offer our respectful obeisances unto him.
O King Parikshit, Narada Muni approached these sons of Prajapati Daksha, who were engaged in tapasya to beget children, and spoke enigmatic words to them, just as he had spoken to their elder brothers. So here it comes again. Here comes again.
O sons of Daksha, please hear my words of instructions attentively. You are all very affectionate to your elder brothers, the Haryasvas. Therefore, you should follow their path.
A brother aware of the principles of religion follows in the footsteps of his elder brothers. Because of being highly elevated, such a pious brother gets the opportunity to associate and enjoy with demigods, like the Maruts, who are all affectionate to their brothers.
Sukadeva Goswami continued, O best of the advanced Aryans. After saying this much to the sons of Prajāpati Dakṣa, Narada Muni, whose merciful glance never goes in vain, left as he had planned. The sons of Daksha followed their elder brothers. Not attempting to produce children, they engaged themselves in Krishna consciousness.
Right. The Svavalasvas took to the correct path, which is obtainable by a mode of life meant to achieve devotional service, or the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Like knights that have gone to the West, they have not returned even until now. They're still out there now.
At this time, Prajapati Daksha observed many inauspicious signs, and he heard from various sources that his second group of sons had followed the path of their elder brothers in accordance with the instructions of Narada.
When he heard that the Svavalasvas had also left this world to engage in devotional service, Daksha was angry at Narada and he almost fainted due to lamentation. When Daksha met Narada, Daksha's lips began trembling in anger and he spoke as follows.
Prajapati Daksha said, Alas, Narada Muni, you wear the dress of a saintly person, but you are not actually a saint. Indeed, although I am now in Grishta life, I am a saintly person. By showing my sons the path of renunciation, you have done me an abominable injustice.
Prajapati Dakṣa said, My sons were not at all freed from their three debts. Indeed, they did not properly consider their obligations. O Narada Muni, O personality of sinful action, you have obstructed their progress toward good fortune in this world and the next, because they are still indebted to the saintly persons, the demigods, and their father.
Because they were supposed
He's
to.
mad. Yeah, he's mad. He's like, What are you doing?
Right,
Narada, they're still indebted to me. And now you've sent them out and there they are floating around the universe and getting enlightened and they're not doing what they actually were created to do.
right. Prajapati Daksha continued, thus committing violence against other living entities and yet claiming to be an associate of Lord Vishnu, you are defaming the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You needlessly created a mentality of renunciation in innocent boys, and therefore you are shameless and devoid of compassion. How could you travel with the personal associates of the Supreme Lord?
All the devotees of the Lord, but you, are very kind to the conditioned souls and are eager to benefit others. Although you wear the dress of a devotee, you create enmity with people who are not your enemies, or you break friendship and create enmity between friends. Are you not ashamed of posing as a devotee while performing these abominable actions? He is calling him out.
Oh, wait, I think I skipped a page. Text 40, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Prajapati Daksha continued, If you think that simply awakening the sense of renunciation will detach one from the material world, I must say that unless full knowledge is awakened, simply changing dresses as you have done cannot simply bring detachment.
Material enjoyment is indeed the cause of all unhappiness, but one cannot give it up unless one has personally experienced how much suffering it is. Therefore, one should be allowed to remain in so-called material enjoyment while simultaneously advancing in knowledge to experience the misery of this false material happiness. Then, without help from others, one will find material enjoyment detestful. Those whose minds are changed by others do not become as renounced as those who have personal experience. Okay, I'm fully hearing what he's saying. He's like, you never even gave them the chance to live and detach from material life on their own.
Right,
You actually just had him do it now based on your word. So this is what he's mad about.
right. Although I live in household with my wife and children, I honestly follow the Vedic injunctions by engaging in fruitive activities to enjoy life without sinful reactions. I have performed all kinds of yajnas, including the Deva Yajna, Rishi Yajna, Pitra Yajna, and Nir Yajna. Because these yajnas are called vows, I am known as a grav gravarata. Unfortunately, you have given me great displeasure by misguiding my sons, for no reason, to the path of renunciation. This cannot be tolerated once.
No, no, this can be tolerated once. He
Oh, this
says.
can be tolerated once, but
But he did it twice, right? You've made me lose my sons once, and now you have again done the same inauspicious thing. Therefore, you are a rascal who does not know how to behave toward others. You may travel all over the universe, but I curse you to have no residence
oh,
anywhere.
you're
Okay, and that's why Narada keeps going because he doesn't have a residence.
okay. Yeah. Sri Sukadeva Goswami continued, My dear king, since Narada Muni is an approved saintly person, when cursed by Prajapati Daksha, he replied, Tad Badham. Yes, what you have said is good. I accept this curse. He could have cursed Prajapati Daksha in return, but because he is a tolerant and merciful sadhu, he took no action.
He's like, okay, I want to float around anyway.
Yeah,
Okay. Wow. Okay, well, you know what? That does end chapter 5, and the next chapter says the progeny of the daughters of Daksha. So I do feel like it's that same story that was referred to earlier, where we've heard this before about Narada come and having them go be
yeah.
enlightened instead of populating the earth. Okay. All right.
At this point, he's already cursed to not ever have a home, so
Right, right. So we have heard this a little bit before, so a little bit more on that. That was really interesting.
super interesting. Always is.
Always
Lots of
is. I actually love when Narada shows up because something always happens.
Yep, yep.
And actually, I've been saying, I always say, like, that'd be so cool if we could get him to come and appear before us. But actually, I don't know if Narada's the one I want, right? Because he's going to say something to me that's going to absolutely make my life absolutely crazily different. I don't even know.
Robert Mooney, you're invited on the podcast.
Right.
And he was here today. He was here today
He
with us.
was. He was. He was. We love it when he comes to the podcast.
Yes.
All right. Well, at this point, we are going to wrap this up. Thank you so much for joining us. Your presence is always so appreciated. Shay, that was wonderful and fun as always. I
Yeah.
love doing this podcast with you. So thank you.
Likewise. Hare Krishna, my friend. See you next time.
See you next time. Hare Krishna.